I think when we're realistically looking at a schedule, the only way to get as much reading in as possible is to Good morning. Happy Friday. Happy almost weekend. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sammy, Marie, Samantha Read a Lot, if you will, and a little bit to know about me. I'm 28 years old, a psych PA, run a small smoothie bowl business, married for a baby mother of 3. 2 are in the room with us now. Avid reader, hobby enthusiast, a book collector. So basically with all that said, life for me is busy right now. Life is a little bit chaotic. It's a busy, full, jam-packed schedule. With that, sometimes I feel like I forget about reading. I don't get as much time as I would like to read. So we're going to fix that and just take some daily habits that I'm going to incorporate into my schedule, not to create more time to read, but find spaces where I could be reading and I'm not reading. This is just like, where are those pockets in the midst of my day that I am not reading that I could be? Like, for example, yesterday, I didn't read anything. And that is not the norm. So we need to address that. We need to handle that. We're going to kind of do like a day in my life type of format, but fitting those 5 tips in. As you've seen, my day did start, it technically started at 5:15 because for some reason I woke up 15 minutes before my alarm. Not sure why that had to happen, but guess sleep just like wasn't in the cards for me. Woke up at 5:30 so I could get to hot yoga. I was done at like 7:30. I had to go to the grocery store, not for personal reasons, for business related reasons, to go shopping for LaBowls, unpack the groceries. Now I gotta go take an everything shower. I gotta wash this hair. I'm still disgusting from hot yoga, but I just wanted to sit down here and chat really quick. Let's talk about this first goal. My first tip, my first trick in terms of squeezing in reading into realistic ways of your schedule, your daily routine. Number 1, first and foremost, I don't want to shy away from setting a goal anymore. I think sometimes setting a goal can be intimidating, but I notice whenever I do a reading challenge, I get so much achieved when I do set a goal. Today, I'm going to set a goal of reading 60 pages because on average, I think I read probably about a page a minute. And I think amongst my day, my working day, I can find 60 minutes to be reading. That's tip number 1. I'm gonna go take a shower. I'm disgusting. And then we will get on with the day. Nobody worry, I'm finally clean. We can move on with the day. I have about 3 hours now in which I can get things done before having to go make and sell some smoothie bowls and work for the rest of the day. I am going to make a brunch, a breakfast into lunch, if you will. It's just about 10 o'clock, haven't eaten yet, but I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna do the dishes. So this brings us to our second tip, and that is habit stacking. Habit stacking is something I personally live by, whether it's something that's a habit or just something that's like genuinely just a part of a routine, a chore, something that needs to be done. Right now, I'm going to habit stack, and instead of, I don't know, like putting on a background TV show, a background YouTube video, I'm gonna put on an audiobook. I am in the middle of 2 books right now. I'm reading Us Against You by Fredrik, Backman, the second book in the Beartown series. Then I'm also reading In Her Own League by Tomforde, but I did download it on Audible, In Her Own League, and I'm gonna listen to it while I cook, while I do a little bit of cleaning, and then go from there. But habit stacking can be done in any sort of way. One way that I do love to do this is with my Kindle. When I go do the stair climber at the gym or the treadmill, whatever it is, walking on the treadmill, not if I'm running, because I don't know how one would do that. But if I'm doing any of those sort of things, especially the stair climber, I find the stair climber to be the easiest one to do it on. But that, I'll bring my Kindle and I'll read while I'm doing that. Attaching reading to a habit that already exists in your day-to-day routine will make it easier. And there's your second tip. And we are counting audiobooks here, okay? We're just trying to get books in a tightly packed schedule. Let's eat some lunch. I forgot. Thank goodness she's fine. I did get a witch's brew at Sheetz. I did almost let this stay in the freezer too long, okay?
Always giggling on this Tomforde. I'm always giggling. It's every time. Like, if I was not home alone, this would be embarrassing. Emmett calls her. They're talking about like work stuff, and then she moves her hand, and so like the bath water splashes or whatever. He hears it. He says, "Are you swimming?" She said, "I'm in the bathtub." And then she's like feeling awkward, like, why did I just tell my employee I'm in the bathtub? And then she says, "Don't picture me naked." And then he uses a line that she keeps using, and he says, "Don't tell me what to do."
Ellie Montgomery is hot, like sinfully hot.
Oh my goodness, and what the last hour has reminded me, and maybe we'll do a nice reminder for you, is your girl cannot be trusted with one of these, with the phone. I cannot be trusted with this guy. I just wasted probably an hour of my life scrolling on my phone, and that's gonna bring us to tip number 3, and that is to replace about half of our social media screen time daily with reading, or just with, I mean, this can apply to the non-readers. Apply it to a hobby that you enjoy, whatever that is. Replace half of the screen time that you don't like how high it is, with a more productive or with a more enjoyable, anything you'd rather be doing. I literally would have rather been watching Sterling Point than have just wasted an hour of my life. When I was looking into this, my screen time that I'm not the biggest fan in the world of is how much time I spend on TikTok and Instagram. And I average about 2 hours a day on each individual app. That is so embarrassing. I average 2 hours. 2 hours. 2 hours a day on each of those apps. That's 4 hours of my life. One thing that gets me into that cycle is I'll post a TikTok or I'll post something on Instagram, and then I'll continuously scroll and scroll and scroll. My Instagram screen time has also been higher recently because we just started posting our Beyond the Bowl series. I'll pop up the ones that are live here, but this is something for our smoothie bowl business where we're partnering with other small businesses in the area and doing like a silly fun food competition show. I have been making reels, TikToks for that, and then I post it, and then I kind of like stay on the app, see how it does, like interact with comments, and then my TikTok time is probably always 2 hours. It's probably always that high, okay? I think tip number 3 would just be replace about half of that time. That way you don't get rid of it as a whole. I think I'm fine if I'm on TikTok. Throughout the day, if I'm on TikTok for an hour, I'm like really okay with that. So we are currently at, I have done reading. I've done like audio booking for about, I've listened to about an hour of the book, but I've listened to it at 1.5 speed. So I've really listened to about 40 minutes. So I still need to hit another hour and 20 minutes before the day's over to hit that sort of goal, replace half of my screen time with reading instead. And I think this will just be like an easy way to be like, oh, I gotta hit that time. I need to stop what I'm doing on my phone. I need to go back to that. I think that's gonna be a tip that really helps me. So I don't have too much time left before I have to get ready for the pop-up. So I might do a little bit of laundry really quickly, continue listening to the audiobook. So maybe we'll hit that 60-minute mark and then get ready to go to work, okay? That's all I have for that one.
me and the lighting. We just went to war, but I think this is like what we're gonna get right now at this time. It is about 8:30. Business did in fact boom at the pop-up. I really wanted to give tip number 4 while I was at the pop-up. It just felt like it would have been a fun change of scenery, a fun change of pace, but that did not work out, okay? Forgive me. But I feel like throughout this, you can kind of pick up on another helpful hint, helpful trick in order to get reading into your jam-packed, jam-filled day is to get comfortable with all different types of forms of reading, not to be such a stickler for one sort of way of reading, right? So we have an e-reader, Kindle, Kobo, whatever you got, your phone, your iPad, any of those can be an e-reader. Your physical book, this is currently my physical book of choice, and audiobooks. I originally was always a paperback reader, and I still love a physical book if I deeply connect with a book, if I just want a book. Like, I do love a physical copy, but I was so resistant to dipping into other forms of reading for so long, and a physical copy is not always attainable, right? If you're out and about, if you're somewhere where you might, I don't know, spill something, if you're somewhere that just like feels weird to pull out a book, if you're somewhere where it's maybe dark or whatever it is, it's not always accessible. So I had finally became an e-reader girly in 2023 was when I got my first Kindle Paperwhite, worth every penny. I do have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, but you can also with your library, I also have like a Libby account, and you can download ebooks through your Libby account. And then of course, if you don't have Kindle Unlimited, you can always just purchase the e-format, the electronic format of the books and download those. You can have the Kindle app on an iPad, on an iPhone, so you don't necessarily need a Kindle. There's also Kobo. I don't know too much about Kobos because I don't personally own a Kobo, and I've never known anybody who's owned a Kobo. And then I finally became an audiobook listener also in the year 2023 because I was suffering with a migraine, and the only thing I could do was sit in a dark room and listen to an audiobook. I listened to The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. That was the first ever audiobook that I listened to. I think when we're realistically looking at a schedule, the only way to get as much reading in as possible is to have really accessible ways to read. So I always have my Kindle in my purse because at the pop-ups, I don't want to pull out a physical book every single time. It just doesn't feel like the time nor the place. Kindle though, perfect for that type of situation. Audiobook when I'm in the car, when I'm cleaning, when I'm doing dishes. Now I don't go every book for audiobook because I do like annotating. So I know if I'm going to annotate a book, I'm not audiobooking it. It's just not going to happen. I can't pause it every single time just to like make note of what I want to write down. So I think this is like a very key, crucial part is just having accessible ways of reading, because I used to strictly just be paperback, and it held me back for some time. Right now, I'm gonna go make dinner, take a shower, get cozy and comfy, and that is the plan for the rest of the night. While I'm doing dinner and stuff, I'm gonna listen to the audiobook, and then I'm probably not, physical books not happening today. I'm not getting into this. I think I'm gonna binge this on Sunday. Let's go make some dinner. I think I earned something to eat. Girl's hungry. Also, I just wanted to talk about this at some point, but I had a migraine the other day, and so like I just sat in a dark room and binged TV shows, watched My Life with the Walter Boys, watched Off Campus. I never read the Off Campus books. However, I ate that show up. Like, I read it, I watched it. I didn't read it. I watched it front to back one day. Didn't get up, didn't move, didn't do anything. I don't know now if I want to go back and read the books, like, and then Allie and Dean this season, like 8 down. So I'm not sure, but give me any feedback on that, if I should go back and read the series. But I loved the TV show. Ate it up. It was so good. I'm watching Sterling Point right now. So there's just so many good shows out right now.
And just so we're clear here, there's no part of me that wants to be friends with you, Reese.
Just a few weeks ago, that statement would have meant something entirely different.
What?
Chapter 11.
We're only 10 chapters in. Okay, y'all. we are just winding on down for the night. It is bedtime. I'm about to just like read for a little bit until I fall asleep. Now it's 10:30. I have been up since 5:15 this morning. So it might be a quick one for me, guys. It might be a quick one, but I've already hit goals I wanted to hit. I don't know the exact numbers, but I'm 34% of the way through. I was 7% through this book. Now I'm 34% of the way through. Most of it was done on audiobook today, and that's okay, but I'm going to get a little bit of a physical Kindle read in before I knock out for the night. And I think this is bringing me to tip number 5, and that is reading should always be a part of the nighttime routine. Should always be. Oh, yes, Jacqueline, come on, baby. Sit down somewhere. Whenever you're ready, you lay down. Just preferably not on my Kindle. Let's always make reading a part of our nighttime routine. I know sometimes we are so completely exhausted and we just want to play on our phone, but that's what probably is keeping us up at night. That's probably why we're not hitting 8 hours of sleep. It's okay if you don't have these big chunks of time in a day to sit down and read. If I only am going to read a couple pages and knock out, it's a couple more pages than I planned on reading. So let's find little outlets in our day that we can read, because that's the only way we're going to end up hitting our goals. And I ended up hitting both of my goals. I think Jacqueline wants me to put the camera away, so I think that's the plan. In case I don't do any little like recap or anything tomorrow, thank you so much for watching. And if you found this helpful at all, if you have any other tips or tricks, drop them in the comments. Let us know what you're doing to hit your reading goal. And that's all I have for you. So I will see you next time, and happy reading.